Okay, class, this is going to be the first video for week 6. So I'm going to go back to task sequence, and normally I would have my image that I captured that I would do this to. But since I don't have an image that I've captured, I'm just going to use the CD image to demonstrate this next task sequence. So I'm going to create a new task sequence. I'm going to install an existing image package. Now, I would like to install the image that I captured, but I don't have it. So I'm going to click Next. I'm going to call this um, Windows Golden Image, no, Windows 10 Golden Image Deployment. Grab my boot image. I'm going to do this 64-bit image. Click Next. I'm going to browse for my package. Right now, I only have the Windows 10. If I had a captured image, I'd grab that. When I captured the image, it would be under operating system images. Once I captured it, I would import it in here. But right now, I can't import it because I don't have it. I'm going to unselect BitLocker. Don't want to use BitLocker. I'm going to let it automatically partition it. It's going to create a partition for a BIOS and a generation 1 and a generation 2 machine. I'm going to enable the local admin account. If I don't do this and it fails to join the domain, I won't be able to sign into the image to see what was wrong. So I need a local account just to be able to sign in to see if anything went wrong. Configure the network. I'm going to join it to the domain. I didn't do this for the golden image, but for the image I'm actually deploying that users are going to use, I will join it to the domain. Sorry. Put in the domain name here and whose account you want to use. If you created a join domain account, I would use that. I didn't do that for this class. So I'm just going to use the admin account. Install the package manager. Install the config manager client package. Migration. What this is going to do is, because we have that package already part of it, it's under application management, that USMT user state migration tool. When I go to deploy this image, it's going to grab all of the user's data, copy it up to my state migration point, and then deploy the image and copy it back. Actually, I'm going to press cancel for 1 second. I want to check something. Okay. It will be helpful if we installed the state migration point. So I'm going to go to Administration, Servers and Site System Roles, right click, and add a role. Click Next, Next. I'm going to choose the state migration point. Click Next. And it's going to ask where to store the data. Now, what we can do is create a new folder in the root of our C drive, or you could do this on any file server that you wanted, and do USMT, User State Migration Tool, data. Actually, I'm going to get rid of the space. Share it. Get everyone full share permissions, and our domain admins, that's who we're going to do this deployment as, has full control. If you wanted to, you can add the SCCM server as well. give them full control. You need to give full control to whom, or at least modify rights to whomever is deploying that image. Right now, we're deploying it as admin. Click OK. And so I'm going to go back to my role. I'm going to add a path. CUSMT data. This is the amount of space you want to give each client. You might need to increase this, depends on what your clients have installed, but I'm going to leave it the default. Now, I don't want to delete it immediately after I do the upgrade. I might want to delete it 5 days, maybe give it a week. Verify that all the user has all the data. He's not or she's not missing anything. If you delete it after 1 day and find out that everything didn't go all right, then and it deletes it after 1 day, you won't be able to retrieve that data. So try to keep it a few days after the migration takes place. Should anything be missing, you have a location where to copy it from. After 7 days, this service will delete that data automatically. It's going to be for this boundary group, allow fallback source location. So we've just added that role. Now I'm going to close out my folder. And just to go back to the software library and packages, this version of SCCM automatically includes that. In past versions, it wasn't included. Guys, it should copy this automatically to the client when the client is actually deployed. So when you run that task sequence, it should send this to the client and it's going to run it on the client. Just to be safe, I'm going to distribute content to my distribution point. So the client will be able to download it. And I'm going to deploy it and make it available. I guess we can't do this because it's the nature of what it is. It should really be copied with your task sequence. So I guess we can't deploy it. But that's fine. We'll just go on with our task sequence. It definitely has to be distributed though. Make sure you send it to the DP. If it's not on the DP, the client won't be able to download it. So I'm going to go back to my create the task sequence again. I'm going to install an existing package, call it Windows 10 Golden Image Deployment. Grab my boot image, grab the software we want to install. Again, we're choosing this only because we didn't capture our deploying capture image. You can select which image to install. I'm choosing the education version. Enable local admin account. By default on Windows 10, the local admin account is disabled. Join it to our domain. If we want to put in a particular OU, we can do that. Install the config package, config manager package. We're going to capture all the user state, upload it to the server, to our state migration point, deploy our image, then add all the user data. It'll also capture the network settings and any Windows settings any Microsoft Windows settings that you currently have. If they change their desktop or anything like that. We could force all the applications to be installed right here. You really don't need to do this if you did a deploy and capture because you've added all your software packages when you deployed and captured the golden image. The golden image should include any packages. I'm sorry, this is Windows Update. We haven't gone to that lab yet, so don't worry about doing updates. So you shouldn't really need to add any applications because they should be part of our golden image. But just to show you, I'm going to add them here. You can add additional images, additional software packages if you want. You shouldn't need to because they should be part of your golden image. That's the whole point of creating a golden image ahead of time. Close. Now, what I didn't show you in the last task sequence, but I'm going to show you on this one, is if you go to properties, it's just going to show you minimal information about that task sequence. But if you go to edit, you can make some changes here. Things that we weren't offered in the task sequence wizard. There's a lot more you can add here than you can in with the wizard. You can choose new groups, run a PowerShell command, install additional packages, configure your disk, enable, disable BitLocker, format it. If you want special disk partitions, user state. Again, we've done that with the wizard. We can apply certain images. We can install the deployment tools that we got from the ADK. You could add drivers if you wanted, certain settings you want to do to the windows of the network. And right here, we can see our partitions for an MBR type disk or UEFI type disk. If you want to delete this, because you're not using BitLocker, you can delete anything you want. Here, it captures the user state. Here, it restores the user state. There's a lot of things you can do in here. Here's the application we chose to install. You can remove these, add additional ones if you wanted. If you wanted to change the network settings, I'll show you how to do that in the next video. There's a lot of things you can do with this particular dialog box. But that's it for this video. Click OK. Again, we need to distribute it. Gotta choose the right one. I'm not sure why my distribution point is not showing up, but when I distribute an image, what I'm really distributing is the parts. So right now, I think it's not showing up. My distribution point isn't showing up here. It's because all the components that I'm using have already been distributed. Meaning, right now, this task sequence uses this. It uses these two applications. It uses this and this. So all those are already deployed to my distribution point. That's why it's not allowing me to redistribute it because all the components are already distributed. So I'm going to go back to my task sequence. So last thing we need to do is deploy it. I want to deploy this to all unknown computers because remember, my SCCM server might not know about my new machines. Click next. It's available to SCCM clients, media, like you're booting off a thumb drive or a DVD that you made for SCCM, or a Pixie boot. Make it available right now. I'm not concerned about the schedule or if the system restarts. Your organization, you might be concerned about this. download the content locally when it needs to. We need this check because the user state migration tool needs to be downloaded locally and run um, for it to grab that user state data. That doesn't run on this server, that runs on the client. It's going to try to get it from the distribution point. That's why we had to make sure that the USMT was sent to the distribution point. We'll allow the clients to use a fallback source. Next, then close. Okay, so this is ready to go. Again, if we had a client, we could actually test it, but we don't, so we're not going to bother testing it. So that's it for this video. Thank you.